So in the last video, I spoke a little bit about the Power Platform Admin Center, a brief overview of that and how to access it. And the final thing that I want to speak on before we kind of get into the nitty-gritty of the various different settings within the Power Platform, I just want to highlight the distinction between tenant environments and managed environments. So you can kind of think of the Microsoft 365 tenant as your organization-wide boundary, and that can dictate settings within the Power Platform. So the Power Platform is a service and a solution that exists within the Microsoft 365 tenant. So unless you're a guest user to that specific tenant, external users aren't going to be able to access your Power Platform. And then the Power Platform itself has tenant level settings. So those apply to everything that exists within the Power Platform. And then within the Power Platform, you can have these separate things called environments. So environments are kind of their own logical container where apps, flows, and connections live. And that means you can administer things at a more granular level when it comes to environments. But there's also different types of environments, which I will talk about in future videos. But the key one that I want to highlight is managed environments. You can see here that I've got two individual environments, which could have their own settings, but the managed environment kind of unlocks an additional layer of settings. And it's more kind of enterprise grade, enterprise ready, and allows you to administer things such as governance settings and things like that you might not get on a standard environment. So you can think of these things as kind of all inheriting settings from each other, going down. So the Power Platform can inherit settings and things from the Microsoft 365 tenant, but the 365 tenant doesn't sort of inherit any settings from the Power Platform. Same thing going into environments. Environments inherit settings from kind of the Power Platform tenant settings as a whole, but the Power Platform doesn't then inherit the settings from the individual environments. So and then settings don't kind of interchange between environments. They're kind of, as I mentioned, their own logical containers, and these are kind of used for separation of apps. So they could be personal development areas where you might want to be working on something individually, or it could be used for application lifecycle management to have the logical boundary between development, test, and live areas. So hopefully that clears up a few things when it comes to kind of tenants, environments, and managed environments. As I mentioned, these are all kind of just introductory videos, kind of used to set the scene, and we'll go into a lot more detail in the future videos.